As the guests continue to file into the House chamber with the president's first joint address to the both houses of Congress just about 10 minutes away, expected to be anyway. New polling today suggesting that Republicans might want to redefine their notion of bipartisanship as they weigh their reactions to tonight's speech. A number one story tonight, Americans telling the New York Times CBS poll their current concept of bipartisanship goes something like this: do it the president's way. Specifically, what should the priority be of Republicans in Congress? Working in a bipartisan way with Democrats, 79%, sticking to Republican policies, 17%. But when it comes to Obama's bipartisanship, Americans putting a higher value on his policies, 56%. More than half the country telling Obama to stick to his guns, only 39% urging him to work in some bipartisan fashion with Republicans instead. Why might that be? You can look at poll question number 44. Do you think Republicans opposed the stimulus because they thought it would be bad for the economy or mostly for political reasons? Only 29%, fewer than 1 in 3 Americans, attributed Republican obstructionism to sincere Republican worries about the stimulus. 63% of this country, nearly 2/3, said Republicans opposed it for political reasons, almost as if they were not putting country first. Let's bring in Chris Matthews, the host, of course, of Hardball here on MSNBC. Good evening, my friend.
You're serving me my dessert tonight. Yeah. Those poll numbers are staggeringly delightful in many ways because they run completely against the commonly used malarkey in our business that bipartisanship is a value in itself, for example. According to that poll results, the set of them you gave us, the people know what they want. They want what they voted for, to be quite blunt, and they want it delivered to them as purely as possible. They want the Republicans to basically get out of the way or join the effort, but don't be a problem. It's a pretty clear result, I thought. Does it not mean, though, that no matter how easily or obviously it's been busted as a political tactic, the Republicans will still do it for a while, at least until it blows up a couple more times? Bobby Jindal's their point guy tonight. I mean, I'm not impressed by this guy one bit. I think he, with his jokes, if you call that, about high-speed rail from Disneyland, as he puts it, to Las Vegas, this cartoonizing of the debate, his absolute rejection of the stimulus package or of Keynesian economics, his absolute rejectionist front tells me he's competing for that outer rail of Republican support. He's out there battling with Sarah and with Huckabee. That's where he's headed. And by the way, he probably has a good nose for history because that's where the Republican Party has gone after losing with what we might call pragmatic Republicans like McCain or Nixon or Jerry Ford. They always go to the right in the next election. They don't go to the pragmatic center. So if that's the pattern, he may be onto something. If he just wants the nomination, that could be the route to it. Just go to the hard right, assume the Republican Party will go hard right in 2012 and be the one who wins it. By the way, if you thought you saw Dr. Jill Biden seated in the executive gallery, indeed you did. That was the wife of the vice president, who's already in place now as we begin to move into the minutes before the president's speech. Chris, what are we looking for tonight from the president that might indicate willingness on his part to use that mandate, both given to him at the polls and by these polls, in order to effect change on a level that maybe eluded him with the well-intentioned but ultimately not successful stimulus as a kumbaya moment package? Well, I don't know. I always underestimate the success of his resistance to the kind of pugnacity that I would like to see. I mean, he's always right. I mean, he was right in the way he dealt with Senator Clinton. He ended up winning her as an ally. He was right in the way he handled John McCain. He put him away in the end as neatly as you could do it without looking pugnacious or negative in any way. He did it all very well. He did get the stimulus package with the help of 3 Republicans. But I do think he's going to have to decide about clarity of purpose and make it clear that the election of last November matters and that his selection of issues is a result of that election. I think he's going to have to go full speed ahead and make it clear that he's not just going to get us out of this mess. He's going to take us to a better America, as he promised, and that means health care, education, and energy independence, as well as recovery. I think he's got to go for the whole thing. Someone once said, I think it was Barbara Streisand, said of herself as a young woman, I'm either going to be a superstar or I'm not. I think he has to either be a superstar or not. I don't think there's a middle ground for Barack Obama. The Barbara Streisand presidency model. I think that's a political first. I know. Don't you remember she said it about her career? I had to be Barbara Streisand. I couldn't just be, Vic Damone or somebody. And if she didn't, she's watching right now, and she'll call in and complain about it. No, she will not do that. Nicely, she will. Chris Matthews of Hardball, thank you. Stand by. Let me do some housekeeping here, and then we'll talk again.